Zion will return home, God, safe and unharmed, God.
A moment of prayer for Zion Foster's safety and safe return.
Last seen at her home last Tuesday. A family is frantic and a community is stepping in.
All I want is for my 17-year-old baby to come home.
Turn to the search for a missing 16-year-old California girl who vanished after going to a campground party this weekend.
This morning, the urgent investigation and desperate search for a missing 16-year-old girl. Kylie Rodney disappeared from this campground in Northern California near Lake Tahoe.
What's up, YouTube? My name is Shiro and welcome to my channel. Today, I'll be highlighting 2 ongoing cases and point out some comparisons that I find to be truly disturbing. I'm going to go ahead and get into it, but please don't forget to let me know what you think in the comments section below. I'm going to be comparing the missing persons cases of Zion Foster and Kylie Rodney. Zion Foster is a 17-year-old from East Point, Michigan, who left home one night in January of 2022 to hang out with her cousin and never returned. She is still currently missing. Kylie Rodney is a 16-year-old from Truckee, California, who went to a late-night campground party and disappeared by morning. She is also currently still missing at the time of this video. Zion Foster, East Point, Michigan, age 17, January 5th, 2022. At approximately 12:45 a.m., Zion's mother received a text that she was on her way home, but she never shows. That same morning, her mother attempts to report her missing, but she's told by law enforcement she'll have to wait 72 hours. She's also made aware that even when she does, her daughter's case will be treated as a runaway. Kylie Rodney, Truckee, California, age 16. August 6, 2022, 8 a.m. Kylie's mother notices she's missing. By 9 a.m., she reports Kylie missing to the local police. Just 10 and a half hours later, at 7:30 p.m. that same night, the Placer County Sheriff's Office puts out a missing persons report for Kylie Rodney. January 10, 2022. 5 days have passed since her disappearance. Police officially report Zion missing. Ironically, this was only after Zion's family reached out to the media. Channel 7 Action News put the Detroit Police Department on the spot after the family went public about the lack of support from law enforcement. Miraculously, that same day is when the family was notified that Zion's case was officially considered to be a missing persons case. August 8, 2022. Just 48 hours after her disappearance, the FBI has joined the investigation to search for missing Kylie Rodney. August 9th. By the 72-hour mark, 16 agencies were involved in Kylie's case, including a dive rescue team, helicopters, and other aircraft. By day 5, they announced that they are utilizing all local, state, and federal law enforcement agencies to help in the search for Kylie. However, law enforcement didn't even recognize Zion Foster as missing until day 5. Yet, by day 5 in Kylie's disappearance, she had 50 FBI agents assigned to her case and over 200 volunteers. During the conference, someone asked how long they plan to search for her, and here was the response.
As long as tips are coming in, we're going to continue that effort, and we'll continue that effort as long as we can. This will continue, if it's unsolved, as long as it goes, and we'll continue to dedicate resources to it.
In another press conference held for Kylie, someone asked,
"This case is receiving a lot of help from larger agencies, the FBI, Homeland Security at one point. What is it about this case that's attracting so much help from these larger resources?"
So as you know, when you are under the age of 18, you're a minor, you're considered very at risk, right? And you're missing.
Let me be clear. So was Zion. January 19th, 2022, Zion's cousin confessed to law enforcement to disposing of her body in a dumpster. Law enforcement and city officials elected to search in the landfill for 3 months. Law enforcement and city officials finally agreed to search for Zion Foster, but not without reminding everyone of just how much the search for this little Black girl is going to cost. There was a press conference held to notify the community about her search. Within the first 7 minutes of the press conference, the issue of cost is mentioned. 2 minutes later, we're reminded of just how hard the effort will be. 4 minutes after that, someone thought it important to ask, well, just how much is this going to cost? August 12th, 2022. There's still no sign of Zion Foster, and what was supposed to be a 7 to 8 week search will now need an extension. A news headline reads, "Search for Zion Foster's body in landfill, a costly one." While a family is devastated and sickened by the disappearance of this beautiful young girl, they're all reminded of just how much their tragedy is costing and inconveniencing the rest of the world. One news media outlet thought it necessary to run a tally of the total expenses used in the search effort for this young lady. They go on to describe her search as exhausting and expensive. Take note of the words used. We are constantly reminded of how much it costs, constantly reminded of the inconvenience, constantly reminded that nobody really wants to do the work. Let me point out to you that within the first week of Kiely Rodni's disappearance, there were 5 press conferences and 1 community meeting. Not one time in any of those meetings was cost ever mentioned. Not one time. The language is starkly different, and to say otherwise is simply a form of gaslighting. I'll just leave this here.
To alert the public to the needs of this massive operation. You know, all of a sudden there's surprise costs that come up. It's about a $5,100 surprise cost for asphalt. So we will be using a lot of these donations.
Yep.
Tonight with an exhaustive search for a missing teenager. Detroit police have spent 10 long weeks combing through a mountain of garbage at a Macomb County landfill looking for the remains of Zion Foster. Exhausting and expensive, with at least $150,000 now spent on the operation.
Detroit police plan to extend their search for Zion Foster now through September the 18th, and they're also asking for the public's help in the form of donations.
Plus, more than $150,000 have been spent already.
More than $250,000 in donations have already been used.
Very intense operation. Need about $15,000 to pay for various things.
Watch this.
Our sole mission is to bring Kiely home to her family.
The FBI at this point has dedicated almost 50 personnel actively searching, knocking on doors, going to businesses, recovering video. Please, if you have any further information.
We have about 3,000 man hours, air support, ground pounder, canines, UTVs, side-by-sides, boats, air support from the state, local, and even at times federal resources. There's been nothing held back resource-wise. Extremely supportive, interested in wanting to be participants.
Hope for Kiely Rodni's return.
Every effort, every lead possible.
Are expanding their search, determined to find her.
Maybe one day they'll give a about Zion too.